It's my great pleasure to introduce our graduation speaker, Ambassador retired Susan D. Page. Ambassador Page is a Harvard-trained lawyer with deep expertise in international relations, particularly in Africa. Originally from the Chicago area, she earned her Juris Doctor, JD, from Harvard Law School, and by far more importantly, her AB in English with high distinction from the University of Michigan, along with further certificates of distinction in English and of merit in psychology from the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. Ambassador Page began her foreign affairs career in the U.S. Department of State in 1991 as attorney advisor for political military affairs in the Office of the Legal Advisor, after finishing a Rotary International postgraduate fellowship in Nepal, where she conducted research on women's and children's rights. Ambassador Page also served as USAID as a Foreign Service Officer, regional legal advisor for East and Southern Africa, based in Kenya and Botswana, and as a political officer in Rwanda. On November 16, 2011, Susan Page became the first U.S. ambassador to the new Republic of South Sudan. She subsequently served as acting permanent representative to the African Union and the UN Economic Commission for Africa, and chargé d'affaires to the U.S. mission to the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. In other service, she has chaired the U.S. government's multi-agency security governance initiative, SGI, team for Ghana. She was special representative of the Secretary General, SRSG, to Haiti, the UN Secretary General's special advisor on rule of law, global focal point, GFP review implementation, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, covering Central Africa, Southern Africa, and Sudan, and legal and political advisor to the Horn of Africa's Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, Secretariat for Peace in Sudan, where she co-drafted essential elements of the 2005 Comprehensive Peace Agreement, CPA, for Sudan. I see that other agencies like acronyms almost as much as U of M does. In addition, she was the director of the Rule of Law and Corrections Advisory Unit of the UN Mission in Sudan. That's UNMIS, for those of you keeping score at home. Regional Director for Southern and Eastern Africa at the National Democratic Institute, NDI, in Washington, D.C., and Senior Legal Expert in Rwanda and Sudan for the UN Development Program. That one I know, UNDP. Along with several other State Department awards for her work on Sudan, South Sudan, and the Great Lakes region of Africa, she was awarded the Sue M. Cobb Award for Exemplary Diplomatic Service in 2015. In August of 2020, Ambassador Page returned to us at the University of Michigan to join our faculty as professor of the practice of international diplomacy at the Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy, Weiser Diplomacy Center, with a concurrent appointment as professor from practice at the University of Michigan Law School. She is also a faculty associate of the African Studies Center, the Donia Human Rights Center, that's DHRC, and member of the DHRC Faculty Steering Committee of the International Institute. So it is really my very great pleasure and honor to introduce Ambassador Susan D. Page.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frenzies. It's a real pleasure to be with you all today and to wish you all a huge congratulations. So bravo. I'm a little embarrassed with all of the credential reading, and I often say that, you know, titles don't make who you are, rank and degrees and whatnot, but of course they do help to get you further along the way. But just to comment briefly on what graduation speaker Marley Durst just said about humility, I often say that, you know, my mother and father did not name me ambassador, they did name me Susan. So with that, I will get started. Dr. Robert Frenzies, Dr. Anthony Markham, directors, faculty, and staff of the program in International and Comparative Studies, the Centers of the International Institute, all of the technicians, event planners, the planning team members, all of the behind the scenes people, parents, friends, thank you all for your support of this amazing class of 2021. Thank you to the graduates, and unfortunately, for organizing yet another virtual ceremony. And finally, all of you, class of 2021, graduates with majors or minors of the program in International and Comparative Studies, fondly known as PICS, Congratulations. Day has finally arrived and your hard work has finally paid off. So let's give everyone a virtual round of applause, if at all possible. I know that some of you can see each other, so congratulations, class of 21. So, graduates, over the past 4 years of your undergraduate career, you have expanded your horizons through the interdisciplinary study of issues that transcend borders. You learned and deepened your knowledge of particular cultures, as well as of distinct political, economic, and social contexts through PICS. Perhaps nothing has shown you more clearly interconnectedness of the world and the fluidity of boundaries than living through a global pandemic for the past 14 months. By living through a once-in-a-century possible extinction event, you and your families and friends, and indeed all of us, have missed out on celebrating birthdays, holidays, religious or cultural festivals, and of course, we've missed the cherished milestones together and in person. For most of you and your community around you, this entire year has been one of trauma and pain, doubt and judgment. From the central question of whether Black lives matter as much as other lives, we witnessed mostly unarmed Black and brown men and women killed by law enforcement officers sworn to protect us and our communities. But we witnessed hope as well. Hope in the form of waves of massive and almost always peaceful protests by people of different ethnicities, backgrounds, cultures, religions, and histories. People gathered and walked through big cities, towns, and rural enclaves. People gathered in places like Black Lives Matter Square in Washington, D.C., to South Korea, Zimbabwe, Brussels, beyond. Ordinary citizens from different nations made their voices heard about racism in the United States. And they also stood up in their own countries, calling for an end to police brutality or a return to democracy. Also, during these past 4 years, you have witnessed the rise of autocratic regimes and a shrinkage of democratic space around the world. You have seen elections challenged, voting suppressed, and election results overturned in some countries. You witnessed a riot and insurrection at the US Capitol and the misinformation that led up to it and the fallout that continues from it. COVID-19 pandemic has cost millions of people their lives and robbed us of the contribution such individuals could have made in the world. The pandemic demonstrates yet again the fragility of our planet and the entire ecosystem. It has shown us all the inequalities within countries as well as between nations. And of course, this once-in-a-century pandemic fundamentally altered the way we communicate. All we have to do is look at one another through our virtual screens that we're doing now, and instead of celebrating graduation in person together in Ann Arbor. Through it all, you, the PICS 2021 graduates, took all of these challenges, all of these crises, and turned them into opportunity. Your generation is exactly what we need at this momentous time. Theologian Howard Thurman said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive." So let me leave you with a few thoughts as you embark upon your next adventure post-graduation. As you come alive, I want you to live. L-I-V-E. L. Lean into the learning and the lessons that you acquired here at U of M. In the midst of these ambiguous times, lean into hope. Take the lessons you've learned here forward, even while you continue to learn throughout your life. I. Integrate and innovate. Integrate the domestic with the international. Our world is intertwined, not always in the same ways and not always on the same level. but we still only have one planet that we must ensure survives. Use the tools from the virtual new world and create new technology, new informatics, new systems. Invest in yourself, your own knowledge and study so that your innovations can be scalable and interoperational globally. F, fun. Don't forget to make room for joy and serendipity. Be open to your journey and the path it may lead you. Remember, your passions may change along the way, but don't forget to stop and smell the roses. E, engage and embrace. Engage your community, the personal, local, and global. Embrace the challenges and view them as opportunities, just as you have done so far. Encounter each challenge with grace and courage. Don't be afraid to take calculated risks. Set goals. Along the way, listen more than you talk. Your voice can be used whether it is spoken, written, walked, or in your actions and activism. Life means taking care of yourself too. Water your own garden. It's impossible to give to others when you yourself are depleted. Grateful. What we learned in kindergarten still holds true. Remember to say thank you and please. Be nice to one another, even as you seek out your dream job and as you rise throughout your career. Even with your dreams and aspirations, sometimes you can't get there immediately. You may need to take a job that is not what you dreamed of or that you're not passionate about. You may hear people tell you that you're, quote, selling out by working for a corporation rather than a humanitarian or rights-based position with a nonprofit. You may feel guilty about doing so in order to earn money to help your family or to pay off student loans or to care for someone before you can embark on your passion. That's okay. None of us know the rocks someone else is carrying in their backpacks. Don't apologize for taking care of your responsibilities. So do whatever job you have as well as you can. Life will throw you curveballs, but you can still live your calling of the moment with passion. There is value in all work that does not harm one another, that does not harm another. Take calculated risks even as you take nothing for granted. Be courageous, be diligent and disciplined, just as you have been during your time at U of M. Live up to the highest standards of integrity and ethics. Do no harm to yourselves, to others, or to our one and only planet. So be open to life, L-I-F-E, to accept new views and to be open to new thoughts, opinions, peoples, and cultures. Titles and degrees don't define your character or your values. So be humble and lift someone up along the way. So let me just close by repeating Thurman's words to you. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. 2021 PICS graduates, go do what makes you come alive. This world needs each and every one of you to just go do it. As Angela Davis said, change the things you cannot accept. So be the change you want to see in this world. Congratulations.